I was really afraid of my parents. So holding this deep secret, I was severely abused. Very, very cruel situation. It's when the guide stepped in. They want the truth, and I could sort of maybe see through their eyes. I connect with your soul. Energy travels. Energy as well likes the balance.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. I'd like to welcome to the show, Kasia. How are you today, Kasia?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Fantastic. Now, you are a psychic, you are a medium, and you are a spiritual therapist. Have I left anything out?
No, I'm a trance medium as well.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about it. That's a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot of tools in your under your belt there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've known each other for some time, and you're in Scotland and I'm in Australia. I just find it amazing how relationships form with such distance, and technology these days is such a great way to bring people together, isn't it?
It is, and lots of chats about weather and comparing what's happening at mine and at yours, and how bizarre it is that it is a morning at mine and the evening at yours as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you're getting snow and we're getting sweltering heat.
That's like so true.
Polar opposites.
And so unfair.
But I can share that with you and I can tell you all about it. So now, Kasia, I would love for you to tell the audience how you got to where you are today. What is your story? Because I'm sure it's an interesting one. And I've heard a lot of people go, oh, my story's so boring. And by the end of it, I'm thinking, wow, yeah, totally not boring. So no pressure.
No. Oh, I know. Right. Before I start, I've got a dog with me and she's a wee bit unsettled. So we may hear her from time to time.
That's fine.
Geez, where my story began. Well, I guess, many people or many medium or spiritual readers says that that has been within their families or passed over through the generations. I don't think that happened with me. I don't remember anyone speaking about it in our families. Probably mainly because my parents or their parents and so forth, they were deeply Catholics, where anything to do with any different beliefs was forbidden. So I guess mainly the religion was one of those things when we couldn't speak about it. I remember I was feeling, from people quite a lot. As if, I would look at their faces and I could sort of maybe see through their eyes what they may feel. So I guess there was quite a lot of emotions, not only within me, but around me. But I never put attention to it. But I guess as well, through all the wounds I have received and all those traumas, I was, in a way, it was my tool to be looking at people's faces and to see whether this person is going to be a friendly one, or whether I need to maybe potentially run away from this person, So that was evolving. So as I was saying, I don't think we had a psychic or medium within our family. However, I remember a situation when I was about 14, when my granddad died, and I wasn't very close with him, but he came to me through a dream. And I remember I was really, really happy and excited to see him. And we were in a car, and my dad was there. It was his dad. So the three of us were in a car, and I did ask him, Grandad, why are you not coming to us, through the day or, at some point? And he said, because you would be so afraid of me seeing me then. So I'm coming through a dream. And that was the very first one, and probably the only one memory I've got. But it was so vivid and so real. And I knew it happened. I shared that with my dad, which was brushed off as of not believing, because yet again, the Catholics' beliefs forbid things like that. And also, what I would like to, talk about is about my own traumas as of when it happened and how it happened, why I am doing what I'm doing. So through my childhood, I was severely abused, physically and emotionally, by my parents. Um, um, I wasn't able to express myself. I was really afraid of my parents. It was quite cruel, it was frightening, and I knew I'm not safe around my parents. So when the sexual abuse happened, I knew at the age of 5 I cannot go to my parents and tell about it, because I would have been yet again beaten up. So I kept it as a secret for so many years. And when this is not being treated, is not being noticed, and the help is not being given, then the further changes happens within your emotions and personality. So, now I know this. I was going through PTSD for decades, I guess. So fast forward, when I was about 41, because I was holding on to all those wounds and all those emotions, I basically broke down to a million pieces. I couldn't cope with anything with life. And at that point, I was a mom of 2 children, single parent. Um, my relationships failed. And I just knew I cannot live any longer and also holding this deep secret. I needed to speak out. And at that point, I have met, and how wonderful that I guess my guides knew I'm needing help. And I was sourcing actually help through my GP, but he couldn't understand what I'm saying. I wasn't maybe honest enough, as never mentioned what really exactly happened to me. So in some way he brushed it off unknowingly. He only had 10 minutes for me. And as I said, I wasn't open and honest. So I have not received a formal treatment. So I was looking for some treatment. And then it's when the guide stepped in. And I have met this wonderful person which did a soul reading for me, which I never heard of before. And within that soul reading, the guilt I was holding on to disappeared. I was healed from that. And when I was healed from that, I was able to open up. And I said to my parents what has happened. Obviously, it was an emotional time. But yet again, I received rejection from my parents as of not believing fully, and perhaps wanting to be living in a denial. How this could have happened in our family. And I guess I was the first one actually openly speaking and naming things which have happened. Um, so, so from then, because the soul reading which I have received, it was so therapeutic, I decided I want to learn this because it helped me so much. I thought I'll be able, maybe potentially, to help others which went through similar path, or different path. And in between as well, I started going into a therapy because I knew I'm unable to help myself. Things happen too deeply, and I just wanted to be a better human being, a better mom, and I didn't want to feel that pain and sadness and emptiness which I was feeling. So I guess my learning journey of learning how to be a soul reader was going together with my own therapy. So within the therapy, I have learned to decode the stereotypes, everything what it was imposed on me, certain beliefs, that girls meant to be feeling this way or saying this way or expressing certain way. So I had a lot of that around me that I felt I cannot be saying what I would like to say. I cannot be smiling because the girls shouldn't be smiling too much. They should be more reserved, and so on and so forth. So yeah, within the therapy, I started decoding all of that. And then the spiritual path sort of progressed even further. When I have learned soul reading, I felt there is more. I want to explore more. And there was the time when another person appeared in my life, and she wanted to teach me all about being psychic and medium. And then from this person, I went to another person because I wanted to learn even more and evolve, and look at it from different angles. And it's how I met you, how I met others, beautiful souls, and which encouraged me and believed in me, because I still was quite broken within. So it was a beautiful journey, not just for self-discovery, but also seeing that others can encourage you, believe in you, and help you whenever you need it. So yeah, from soul readings to mediumship to psychic to trance. Now I'm doing the family constellation therapy, which is an amazing tool. Why I'm doing what I'm doing is when I was doing mediumship, or actually when I was sitting in a silence, sitting in a power, connecting to a spiritual world, my guides or my soul was passing informations that I meant to be real. I meant to be naming things, whatever I feel, whatever I sense, whatever situations that are going to be shown to me, I meant to name them and call them for what they are. And I was questioning it, because some of my colleagues were doing those beautiful, exciting readings, giving so many informations as of or evidences as of, oh, your grandfather was born on the 6th of the 6th. And they were just giving so many evidences. And I thought, and the readings were so light and funny, and, and people were laughing through the tears because they were connected to their loved ones. And I thought, I want to be doing readings that way. So yeah, I was questioning my own ability and sort of arguing with them, like, why are you not showing me that way, light and fun? And the answer came through because I'm going to be quite emotional. Because I meant to do it different way, every gift is different and every path is different, and they are using me because of my experiences, and maybe potential being quite honest, um, that they want the truth to be spoken about. Because so many of our ancestors, when we're talking about mediumship, so many of our ancestors went through tremendous times and tremendous emotions. But through their lifetime, they weren't able to speak about it because it was forbidden, because they were carrying so much guilt, because it just they couldn't, for whatever reason, they couldn't. But now, because they are in a different place, they want to share their story. They want to be heard. And sometimes, rightly so, they would like to apologize to those family members which they, did something or said something. So they want to be known for who they truly were and never had the chance to speak about it. Um, and sometimes they show like very, very cruel situations which happened to them. But if I didn't have those experiences myself, probably I wouldn't be able to talk about it. So I feel extremely privileged and honored that they come to me, because they know I'll say it the way it happened. Um, yeah, so is that what I do? I'm being real, I'm being honest. Sometimes it is fun, sometimes it is through the tears, the story is being said through all those emotions of the loved one from the other side.
Mm. And I think you forgot one key main word there to describe
Mm.
yourself, Kasia, and that would be brave. Because you
Perhaps.
are very, very brave to be able to now be open and honest and talk
Mm.
about it. Talk about it here now to the viewers, to talk about it, when you're doing therapy with people.
Mm.
And in exactly as you said, in having your own experiences around this, you can totally understand and be empathetic with those who have been through similar experiences. And
That's
I
true. Mm.
and I find the best therapists or counselors are the ones who have had similar lives, who have had similar experiences, because they
Mm.
do understand. They do
Yeah.
understand the trauma, the pain, the suffering, and they do understand what it's like to come through to the other side. Hence, that drive and that passion to want to help others get there as well.
Yeah. That is quite strong, because when I have experienced it, whether it was the very first initial reading I have received, or whether I was working through or learning about it, I thought and I knew I can do so much good. I can
Mm.
help people. I can help to heal. I'm going to learn all those tools. So no one um, have to be going through all that pain or carry that pain for another 10, 20, 40 years. And of course, it's not for everyone because not everyone wants to face it. And I understand that as well. I didn't want to. I wanted the pain to disappear, but not necessarily to face it, to relive it. But that's the only way to feel better.
Mm,
You need to face it, you need to connect with it. It will be uncomfortable for an hour. But then after the process, when you trust the process, after that hour, you feel lighter. You feel as this heavy burden has shifted your shoulders, you know? And also, when you are at 40, 50, 60, there are a few decades of those burdens being in you. So one session is not going to be enough to fix it all. And also, I don't have the ability to fix it for you. I can help you. I can be on that journey with you for that amount of time, but then your process starts when we say goodbye to each other. You are responsible for your own process. You may have certain thoughts, certain changes may have happened, but it's entirely up to you what you are going to do with it. It's not going to be easy, but how rewarding it is when you feel free, just so free that you don't have to feel that pain, that abandonment, that sadness, whatever you want to work with. Hmm.
yeah, wow. And I just want to reflect back on when you were talking about your first soul reading.
Mm.
Now, obviously you are ready to release your
Yes.
trauma. And I love how one soul reading, and that was what it took for you to open up and to be able to release that trauma. Like, that's
Mm.
incredible. And I guess this is the power of these types of what some would call alternative modalities,
Mm.
alternative therapies. This is the power. So for those that might think, oh, it's all woo woo, there's evidence. Go and
Mm.
look at reviews, go and read about it, understand it, educate yourself on it, and then try it. And once you've experienced it, then you can comment, because I tell you, there's a lot of
Yeah.
power behind those modalities. There is a lot of power behind those soul readings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when I started doing it myself, I started noticing, or actually my clients started noticing that they felt not only the shift as of feeling different, feeling better, but they were opening up to like a soul path, to different path. Um, and um, that was strange initially, thinking, how am I able to make such an impact? And it wasn't me, it was the energy, it was the power coming from the soul, the universe, your guides. I was just a transmitter, I guess,
Mm,
because the power is everywhere. And that was beautiful. So, yes, my clients say that obviously those which are ready, to make the changes, they are ready for not the changes, not necessarily just the changes, but to acknowledge it, to feel it. It's as of the right place, right time for them. Um, yeah, and those things are changing, are happening. I had a client where since the initial reading, her life looks completely different. She's now more spiritual. She has been attending certain therapies as well because she wanted to sort of top up, not just with the spiritual reading, but a therapy as well. And she's now helping others. And that has been happening within a year and a half. So your path may change, just for better, for better.
Yeah, so be ready.
Yeah, be ready.
So for
Mhm.
those that are listening or watching, who may be thinking, but what is a soul reading? What is the difference between, say, a soul reading and a tarot card reading or a mediumship reading? What makes a soul reading so different? And I'd like you to give the audience your version of it.
Right, okay. So, um, I never know what's going to happen at the soul reading. I never know what the guides in your soul might be passing over to me, which makes it all exciting, and you don't need to prepare because each time is different. Every person is different. Every experience is different. Your life is different. Um, so is that what I love? I don't need to prepare. I'm just there for you. So at the time of the reading, my eyes are closed and I connect with your soul.
Mm.
And with the universe. So the vibrations, the energy just rises, and whatever happens, whether I'm sensing, feeling, and emotions, pictures and stories are unraveling. It could be anything to do with your current situation, with your childhood. Maybe some healing needs to happen. So they are showing me the core, the root of why you feel a certain way or why you struggle with certain thing. Or sometimes they show me a past life, different life, because it may have had some huge impact, or still has some huge impact on your current life. Because as you may know, whatever happens to us, not necessarily everything belongs to us. Sometimes some stories have not been finished, and we carry it into our present life. So maybe potentially there is a need to cut something from the different life. So that's why it's so exciting. I never know what's going to be about, and I'm open to everything. Um, and also, yeah, there is a lot of healing happening, whether the body healing or emotional healing. And at the time of the soul reading, sometimes I was missing this one more tool, which is going to really fully close off the whole energy. So I was seeking for it, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where to turn to. But I knew there is something more, or I need something more, because that's the way they wanted to. I mean, my guides wanted me to work with more therapeutic way, which yet again, I didn't know why. Okay. I wanted to be fun. So yeah, lately, I have discovered this family constellation therapy, and I went for it myself because I needed it. And I like to try first, before I can offer something to someone. If it's working on me, then it's going to work on you. And I fell in love with it, for this therapeutic side. And it can, like, you can see, you can notice the difference and you can understand. So not only your body received healing, not only your emotions, but also your sort of logical side of the mind as well. There is this full understanding why certain things have been happening in your life, whether you are carrying it from your parents, grandparents, or somewhere down the line. Because, as I was saying earlier on, everything is an energy, and energy travels, and energy as well likes the balance. So if somewhere down the line, your ancestral line, there was unbalance, there something has happened, whether someone has been excluded from the family, let's say in your third or fourth generation, you may not even be aware of it, but someone for whatever reason has been excluded from the family, then you may potentially feel this feeling of not being included in your family, or some form of a rejection. So there are ways to work with it. There are ways to look into it. And the informations are going to be appearing to me. And then we can heal that. And then you will not feel that, whatever it is you come with to me with. So it's so transformative.
Wow, powerful stuff. I love it.
It
I
is.
absolutely love it. And now I know that you want to really talk about this therapy. So I'm going to hold you right there, and we will talk about that in another episode when we have you back very soon. But I just want to thank you, Kasia, for being on the show and sharing your life story with us. And, and not just your life story, but your darkest moments, when you were most vulnerable. Thank you so much for sharing that, because this now, inspires others to step forward. This inspires others to heal and know that there are other ways to heal out there than just I don't want to say, well, I will say the clinical ways. And I'm not saying they don't work, but if you're finding you feel you need something else, please, by all means, check out Kasia's website, get in touch with Kasia. Now, Kasia, in saying that, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me through my own Facebook, which is Kasia Michalak. Just typed in and you will find me. You can find me as well through my website, soulconnectionswithkasia.com, and through my YouTube, Soul Connections with Kasia. Well, I welcome you.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll put all that information in the show notes to make it easy for people to connect with you. And I just want to thank you again, Kasia, for being on the show. And I look forward to having you back again very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me at the Medium's Table. The universe is always speaking. Listen and let your spirit soar. Curious for more? Click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe.